Bruce Johnson, president and founder of BizScalers and the BizScalers Club. And today I want to talk to you about how to create a 100-day plan. How to create a 100-day plan. Now, I don't know how you approach the end of the year, but if you're like most business owners, the way you approach it is one of three ways. The first way is we're so far behind on our goals this year that we might as well just give up and hope for next year, right? So you set your goal that you're going to grow by, 30%, and right now you're barely on target to break even, or maybe you're losing some money. So we're so far behind, might as well give up. Second option is we're way ahead of what we thought we were going to do this year, and this is just easy street. We can just kind of coast in the fourth quarter, and life is going to be good. The third option is, man, I don't know if we're going to make it or not. It's going to be a nail biter. It's going to go right to the very end. Hopefully, we'll be able to just cross the border and be able to hit our goals for the year. In general, that's probably the vast majority of businesses in the country. Either we're so far behind, might as well give up. We're way ahead, we can coast. Or number three, I hope we're going to be able to make it if we somehow have something great happen to us in the last 10 days of the year. So those are usually the three major ones. The good news is that there really is a fourth option, and it has nothing to do with where you are in your metrics, and that is, why not let us crush the end of the year? Why not make the last 27% of the year, the last 100 days, the best 100 days of the year? I mean, 100 days is a long time. Rather than kind of giving up or coasting or hoping, why not try to crush it? If you think about it, so much of business really is mental. It's the mindset at which we come at the year. And for most people, the end, they start coasting or scrambling or sweating. And those aren't the best options. Why not try to crush it in the last 100 days? So how should you go about creating a 100-day plan? Well, let me give you a couple ideas about how to do that. And to do that, I'm going to encourage you to take a look at what we use in BizScalers Club as the 90-day race plan. And you can see it here on your computer screen if you're watching this by video. If you're listening by podcast, just go to bizscalers.com/free. And the first item is the 90-day race plan. So it's free, no opt-in. You can easily get it. It's our gift to you. But it's the 90-day race plan. And this is a good way to organize how you're going to crush it in the last 100 days. And by the way, we're using 100 days just as a nomenclature. It could be, the last 97 days. It could be the last 101 days. It could be the last 83 days. So who cares what the number of days is? This is basically your plan to crush it by the end of the year. So, a couple ideas. Idea number one, come up with your top 3 to 5 key projects that if you accomplish them by the end of the year would allow you to crush it this year. So pick 3 to 5 projects, no more. You can't focus in on 50 things and move them all down the field at one time. You got to get some focus. So what are the 3, max 5 key projects that you want to get done between now and the end of the year? Now you might be thinking, well, how do I select? Well, I would pick 2 to 3 of them that would be growth accelerators, things that are really going to drive revenue. And I'd pick 1 or 2 of them that would be a constraint eliminator, something that right now is holding you back, that's a constraint in your business. And if you got rid of it, it would make things better, both internally for now and hopefully better for next year. So a growth accelerator could be, we need to optimize our joint venture structure in Q4, right? So we're going to find some new joint venture partners and we're going to have them promote us. And if we did that, we think we could generate a fair amount of revenue. You could take something that you were planning to maybe complete by the end of the year and use for revenue next year and move it up. Maybe you're going to launch a new product in Q1. Maybe you can actually launch it now in Q4 of the year, maybe in October, and actually generate some significant revenue this year. So why not? Why wait? So just think through the things that could help drive significant growth. Pick 2 or 3 of them and put them in the first couple blocks. And then on constraint eliminators, you'd take something that right now is holding you back. Let's say that you have a crappy CRM system and you're not able to follow up well with people. If you could fix that and install a better CRM system this fall, in the wintertime in the November, December timeframe, if you couldn't do that, would it in fact allow you to fix a problem currently and then set you up for success next year? So pick 3 to 5 projects, both growth accelerators and constraint eliminators, that you think will allow you to drive growth and fix some problems. No more than 5, 3 minimum. Pick them, right? That's step 1. Step 2 then, you'll notice there are a number of blanks underneath each one of those 5 things. Because if you just come up with a list of 3 to 5 things to focus in on, the probability of them getting done, very, very minimal. So the next step is you put in what are the key tactics that need to happen in order for that key project to be completed. And a classic one would be, I need to finish research, create the plan, assemble the resources, execute the plan, optimize the plan, right? You could come up with something a lot more original than that, but that gives you a general idea. Pick 5 things. And this is the key, and this is what most people forget. Put a date on those things, because if you don't put a date, you'll probably get to the end of the year and go, oh, we didn't get that done and that done. Put a date. So if the research needs to be completed by October 1, and the plan needs to be created by October 15th, and we need to assemble the resources by November 1. We need to start executing by November 15th. We're going to optimize in December. Like, that's more powerful, and you'll probably get a better 90-day or 100-day race completed if you do that. So step 1, what are the top 3 to 5 projects? Then what are the top 3 to 5 key tactics that need to be accomplished with a date over the course of the next 100 days? We're using this 100 days, but it could be 87 days or 90 days. It's irrelevant. The form actually makes it a lot easier. Then the third step is you need to pick some key metrics. Obviously, revenue would be one of them you'd probably want to put in there. So how much revenue do we want to generate in the last 100 days of the year, or the last 90 days, or the last 83 days? Put that goal in there. And you can use whatever ones you want. You don't have to use all the ones we use from BizScalers. But there's some blanks down there. So it might be that we need to assemble X number of JV partners if that's one of your strategies. Maybe you need to do more outbound calls. So maybe you're going to put number of outbound calls. Maybe you need to increase your pipeline. So it could be the number of people in the pipeline. Maybe you need to increase the size of your list. So maybe that's it. But you pick whatever KPIs you think will help you crush it here the last 90 or 100 days of the year. So you got your top 3 to 5 projects, top 3 to 5 tactics. You got your top handful of key metrics that you're going to watch over the next 100 days or 90 days or 83 days, whatever it is. Man, you're way ahead of where most people are, because now you're motivated, you're getting excited. Listen, we can crush it at the end of the year. But what I would encourage you to do is number 4, and that is to practice double it. Double it. And double it just says whatever we've been doing, let's double that. So if you're doing one networking meeting a month, do 2. If you're doing 1 webinar, do 2. If you're doing 2, do 4 of them. If you're doing 5 outbound calls, do 10 outbound calls a day. But take things and just speed it up. Take whatever you're doing and double it and create some momentum here so that you can actually really crush it at the end of the year. Now, if you do all of those 4 things, you'll be moving the ball down the field, but the last one is really important. You have to incentivize your people to want to crush it. Right? If the only person who's going to win from crushing it is you, very hard to motivate your team to do that, right? Like, we get paid the same amount and we've got to work twice as hard. That doesn't sound good. It sounds like the owner wins big and we lose. Because I can do what I'm doing right now and I'm okay. So what I would encourage you to do is figure out a way that you can incentivize your team to realize that if they crush it, there's something good for them. And you can pick any kind of reward that you want. It could be monetary, it could be an event, it could be time off. There are lots of options of things you can do. One simple one that some people will do is they will say, and I'm going to use simple numbers here, that you allocate 10% of profits to a bonus pool for all your employees. So let's say that your Q4, you normally would do $1 million of revenue, and your profit rate is 20%. So out of $1 million, 20% would be $200,000, 10% of that would be $20,000. So you distribute normally $20,000 in Q4 to your employees. That's not bad. But what if you said to them, listen, if we do what we're supposed to do, we'll hit $1 million, and we have a regular profit sharing plan. But for every dollar that comes in above $1 million, instead of the 10% profit share, we're going to do a 20% share on every dollar of profit above that $1 million mark. So if you generated, instead of $1 million, let's say 1.25 million, like you really did crush it in the last quarter, then that $250,000, 20% would be profit, so that'd be $50,000. Instead of $5,000 being added, now you'd add 20%, so you'd get $10,000. So instead of having $20,000 to distribute, you now have $30,000. Basically, a 50% increase in the amount that they would get in the bonus pool if they really crushed it. Now, to me, I don't know about you, but that sounds like, hey, that's a pretty nice Christmas gift. So figure out a way for you to incentivize your people. Because if you're the only one who wins, it's not a good idea. One of the things hopefully you pick up at BizScalers and our BizScalers Club is that we think everybody should win. We don't think one person should win. We don't think one business should win over another. We don't think a business should win over a client. We think everybody should win. We like the win-win resolution option. So in this case, design it so everybody wins, and you'll probably get more buy-in from your people. So there you go. If you want to create a 100-day plan or 90-day plan or 83-day, make sure you crush it at the end of the year. Don't just coast in. Don't give up. Don't hope that you're going to do it. Have a plan to literally crush it. So pick your top 3 to 5 projects, pick your top tactics, pick your key metrics, double time it, and then make sure you incentivize everybody on the team for the win. If you do those 5 things, my guess is you will crush it and have a great last 100 days of the year. Now, if you found this helpful, I would encourage you, if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube page and you're watching this by video, subscribe there. If you're listening by podcast, make sure you subscribe on whatever channel you're listening to, because my commitment to you is each and every day and every week, I want to communicate to you actionable strategies and tactics that you can use to build a more scalable and profitable business. And again, if you forgot where to get this page, go to bizscalers.com/free. First item, 90-day race plan. So until next week, to your accelerated success, Bruce out.